Hey everybody, Keel423 here from EpicCouncil.com. At the moment I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to install Fusion version 1.0.9 on your Xbox 360 Slim Demon. This is the dual NAND solution, but the same rules apply for even a single NAND, so it's basically just a Fusion install guide. What you're going to want to do is get yourself your Fusion. I have mine right here. But before you get into Fusion, you're going to want to open your Jrunner. Here we have it. And then you should load up your NAND dump. As you can see, you already have your CPU key, so it should be in your system. If you purchased your console without it, hopefully if your installer is any good, you got a disk at the very least with your copies of your NAND dumps and all that good jazz. So, and your key vault, your keys anyway. So what you're gonna want to do is make sure you got your NAND dump, your retail NAND dump, and your CPU key. And you're going to come up here to extract files, and it's done just like that. And that's all we need Jrunner for, so we can close Jrunner down. Well, we're going to need it again in the future as far as writing it to the console. So now we're going to want to go ahead and open up our Fusion and our Fusion setup. You want to select your console type. I'm working on a Trinity. If you're working on something else, you know, Falcon, Jasper, all that good jazz. Your NAND size. Most consoles are just 16 megabits except for the Jaspers. And then you're going to need your CPU key. So we want to open up the console we're working on here and get your KV info. Here's my CPU. Copy that and paste it, and then you're going to need your DVD key as well. Copy that and paste it. I'm done in there. Now we need to load our config blocks. What that is some of the information that we just dumped from the NAND and Jrunner here. There we go. Here we have all of the information we need. So we're looking for SMC config right here. This is the file. When we hit extract, it pulled all this information out of the NAND. So we want just the SMC config. The other stuff is great to have in case you ever end up needing to rebuild a retail NAND. It's handy to have all that stuff. Boot dev launcher, enable trainer mode, system link mode. I go with retail. Not everything likes to work in dev mode. I'm going to put the trainer on dev kit though. And then if you want alternate dashboards and whatnot, these options are there. And then hit build. Now it's wanting you to save the NAND. So I'm going to just save it right here in the actually I'm going to back out and put it in here. This is the folder I created for this particular console. And I'm going to name it Fusion version 1.0.9. My customer will be receiving this NAND on a disk, and then save it. Successfully created. So that's done. We can go ahead and close the Fusion setup tool now. Close that as well. Alright, let's open our Jrunner back up. Now, if mine looks a little different than yours, it's because I'm using a Demon and you may be using a nandX, but everything's pretty much the same. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to load our source file as this Fusion, and then we're going to just simply write the NAND. This daemon is just amazing at how fast it is. Simply phenomenal. With the old way, the LTP, man, this used to take a good hour for a 16 megabit. If you were doing a big block Jasper at 512, you're looking at spending all day working on that, just reading and writing. I mean, it was ridiculous. nandX was a massive step up, and the Jprogrammer, which is, I believe, what's built into the daemon, is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Alright, at this point we have Fusion written to the NAND. So the next part of the install is going to be on the console, which requires us to build a boot disk. So now that that's written in 28 seconds, my computer is slow. I've been seeing people writing in 20 seconds, so I'm 8 seconds slower than everybody else. I'm not going to complain. Now we need to create a Fusion boot disk. So I'm going to need my image burn. And we're going to create an image file from files or folders. Browse for the folder. I have it on my desktop. And this is the folder. Boot disk. I'm going to save it in the same location. Being that it's saving as an ISO, I'm going to call it boot disk as well. Okay, I guess I'm not going to call it boot disk. I'm going to call it boot disk version 1, version 1.0.9. You have only selected, would you like me to just add the contents of the boot disk to the image? Yes. Yes. And it's done. Alright, now when we come over here to our Fusion, we now have an ISO, and we can burn that to a disk. So I'm going to pop a disk in. This really sucks because I am completely out of regular DVD discs, so I gotta waste one of my verbatims dual layer disk, so it's going to give me a warning saying that I'm wasting a disk. And yeah, I know, but spend the next 45 minutes going to Walmart and back, not to mention the money to buy the disk, or just waste a verbatim. So I'm going to waste a verbatim. Disk is ready. Content, yeah, blah blah blah, doesn't need a double layered disk. That's fine. Well, once this is all finished, I'm gonna stop the video, because you don't need to watch the oh, yep. Yes. Yes. There we go. I'm just gonna fill the buffer and write it. It's probably gonna take like 30 seconds. I mean, it's a fairly tiny thing. Well, I lied. It's gonna take about a full minute. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video. The next part that you're going to see will be its own independent video, so watch for part 2. I'm not very good at editing, joining videos together and stuff like that, so watch for part 2, and I'm going to show you the installation process and the actual boot up of Fusion. So alright, I'll see you in a moment. Video 2, Kill423 from EpicConsole.com. I'm out.